Barcelona, a city that never gets old for me. In fact, this was my third trip here, and somehow it still surprised me. The streets, the energy, the food, everything felt brand new, and I fell in love with it even more than ever before. So we had an early start from Heathrow, and for me, I don't care if it's a 6 a.m. flight. I refuse to board a plane without perfume, so I misted myself in one of my favourites because smelling good is a non-negotiable. A few hours later, we were touching down in Barcelona. So we headed to Barcelona to celebrate my sister's 30th. And I don't know about you, but if you've ever travelled with family, you know that it hits differently. You just laugh harder, you shop longer, you eat way too much, and you just make the best memories. So we're really excited for this trip. The last time we planned to visit Barcelona, we actually booked the Mandarin. It felt like the obvious choice back then, but lockdown came in, obviously, and then cancelled everything. So naturally, when we started planning this trip, the Mandarin was our first choice. But it's so funny how time can shift your perspective because it just didn't have the same appeal anymore. There's something about sprawling hotels that I find a little bit irritating, and I find boutique hotels are just a little bit more intimate, and I find they pay much more attention to detail. So this trip we decided to stay at the Sonder, and honestly I think it was the best decision. So if you're a content creator like me, the first thing you do is run to the bathroom just to double check that the lighting is on point. And I did not have this issue with the Sonder. It was such a beautiful bathroom with beautiful toiletries and a really nice soft dressing gown and slippers, you know, the usual. But most importantly, it was a great space for me to do my makeup and my hair in the morning, especially for filming content like this. It's so important that we get our hair right and our makeup right. And yeah, it was just a really, really beautiful, beautiful bathroom, as well as the other features of the room. That was me doing it. Like the light in this was just absolutely amazing. So our room had a balcony overlooking the Passeig de Gràcia. And here's the irony. We were directly facing the Mandarin. How funny. So instead of staying there, we got to people watch from here. And every morning we were woken up by the sound of people or a Ferrari revving its engine down below, which I guess you're not too mad about. But the energy, the location, everything about it was perfect. And if I came back to Barcelona again, I'd probably stay here. And at the top of the terrace, this is what we see the Mandarin. It was so ironic. On the first day, we went straight to the park because I really wanted to see the birth of Venus statue. I had seen her all over Pinterest, but in person, absolutely breathtaking. From there, we visited the National Art Museum, and the views from the front are just as amazing as the views inside. Unfortunately, I did miss the terrace this time, but I guess it just means I have to come back again. Naturally, if you come to Barcelona, you have to go to the Gothic Quarter. It's just always magical. It feels like you're in this romantic movie. And if you know exactly where to go, it leads you right into the Plaza Real. So that is where it's like a really gorgeous square, and then it's lined on the outside. It's very European. It's like lined on the outside of like the perimeter of the square with like restaurants and cafes and groups of people just like laughing and chatting over glasses of wine. It's just really, really nice, and like tapas and stuff like that. But if you don't want to have a drink, you can just chill, which is really nice, especially when it's a nice day. And since the Gaudi house was just steps from our hotel, it made sense to go back at night to capture it under the lights. So I always think the house looks nicer in the night. Sometimes the best travel moments are the simplest ones, just like standing in front of something iconic when the crowds have gone. Although saying that, no matter how long I waited, the crowds were never leaving from the Gaudi house because it's such a popular tourist attraction. But this was the best I got, and I think I got quite a good shot. But let's talk about the food because, oh my God. And this is why it's important to return to places that you love because they're so different to what you remember. So Barcelona has become this city that will feed you non-stop if you let it. We spent so much of our time just eating our way through the streets, and I'm talking about little cafes like side street bakeries, hidden brunch spots, glamorous restaurants. It was just everywhere. No matter where you turned, there was food. Yeah, so at one point I even had chicken and chips, and when I tell you I lived on that balcony, I sat on that balcony for absolutely every reason that I could find. So we had actually put Chiconi's for dinner one night, but the menu looked so uninspiring. I just didn't understand what the hype was. So we found Gloria's that had just opened. So we cancelled Chiconi's and booked Gloria's and got a table there instead. Best decision of the trip. I had the ravioli, and for dessert I had a tiramisu, but not just any tiramisu, the kind where they scoop it out of the big tray, and I got the first scoop if you know me, that matters to me, to get the first scoop out of the tiramisu tray. And it just tasted much better than it even looked. The food was endless. I'm talking about cakes, cheesecakes, flaky breads. Every corner had something that pulled you in. Oh my gosh, these were these spinach and feta. Listen, I can't even describe the food. You have to go for the food. It's just amazing. Focaccia breads, cinnamon buns. I mean, look where it is, back on the balcony. When I tell you I live there, like I literally live there. Everything we brought back home, I opened up the doors and sat on the balcony and just watched people go by. And I'm talking about food, but I haven't even mentioned the drinks. Lychee canned drinks, which we probably have here, salted caramel fraps, health drinks. We have this spirulina drink. That's my sister's matcha drink. This spirulina drink, oh my god, it was so good, from a place called News. It's like a health shop, and obviously I had to have a beer. Do you know I didn't have a glass? Actually, I did have a glass of wine. I think it was right at the end. It was amazing. Now, of course, it's not a city style diary without me talking about fashion, and you can't come to Barcelona and not shop. It's part of the culture. And let me be very clear, I don't discriminate. I shop everywhere from H&M to Hermes. And honestly, I don't know if you've noticed, but Spain seems to have better high street stores than what we get in the UK. That is a fact. And the one we went to even had an outdoor lounge area, like a H&M with a lounge. Meanwhile, back home, we just like have to fight through the basics. It's crazy, like not even a chair to sit down on. I also discovered Osho for the first time. Apparently they're really popular. They're everywhere here. So I picked up some grip socks for Pilates. My sister found like really nice bits here. Uniqlo was incredible. I've never seen a Uniqlo like that. It had stained glass windows and this massive chandelier. It was really, really cool. And of course, I had to find a vintage store because I love coming home with pieces that other people don't have. I didn't really find anything, if I'm honest. This store, Moire, was really, really cool. They had like, in terms of curation, they probably had the best bits I'd seen in Barcelona. In fact, probably my vintage shopping experience throughout this summer, it was really, really good. They had really nice bits. They had like, I think they had a tattoo shop at the top as well. But nothing per se really caught my eye. But of course, we had to hit the luxury stores too. Our hotel was literally right on the same strip as them. It would be crazy not to visit them. So with designers, I'm not too fussed about, but there are a few that I love, like Iro. They had really, really nice pieces. They had this nice Sherlin jacket that I thought was nice. It's hard to shop autumn winter when it's hot outside, but nevertheless, they had like really nice stuff in there. And then I popped into Zimmerman. It was a bit small in Zimmerman, so I don't think it was fair to pull my phone out. Of course, I had to pop into Ferragamo because I'm a Ferragamo girly and I had to see the new pieces they had. But let's not forget that we are in Spain. And if you already don't know, Loewe is a Spanish brand founded in Madrid in like the 1800s. Like they are heritage. And their Barcelona store is absolutely stunning. So the moment you walk in, they take your name and assign you to a personal shopping assistant. This meant that it felt much more like an experience rather than just shopping. So I browsed the sunglasses, the bags, obviously. I looked through some of the ready-to-wear pieces. But do you know what I really love the most? I guess being like a creative. I love that there was pieces of Picasso's artworks displayed around the store. I just thought that was like a really, really nice touch. And I absolutely loved my assistant. Like anything I picked up, he was able to tell me what price it was, the colorways, like anything. He was like a Loewe encyclopedia. And it wasn't just him, it was all the assistants. It was just really, really nice experience and I would recommend. And because I'm not just a fashion girly, but I am also an interior girly too, I had to check out Mango Home. I didn't need anything. I was just being nosy. I wanted to see. You can't help it, like looking at dishes and vases and lamps. I really wanted this. My sister hated it, but I thought just a nice, I don't know, a pasta in there. I needed nothing. So I left with these really like chic tassel face cloths. Yeah, they were cute. And before we knew it, the trip was over. Like it went so quickly. It makes me even sad looking at this, even though that's a really nice view. And yeah, we headed and landed back into City Airport. And that was it. But looking back, Barcelona gave me everything: the art, the food, the fashion. But more than that, it reminded me that no matter how many times you visit a city, there will always be a new version of it waiting to be discovered, which is always really, really nice. So this was the City Girl Diaries Barcelona, and I thank you for coming along with me. God, I sound like an air hostess. Thank you for coming along with me. And if you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell, so you will be the first to know which city I'm checking out next.